Child sex abuse survivors are pushing for new legislation that would ban non-disclosure agreements in those types of cases.
It's a proposal survivors say is key to getting real accountability. Cake City Ferguson is live in studio for a deeper look at Trey's Law and where the push for it comes from.
Yeah, Chris, Deb, survivors of abuse tell me a lot of times the only way they can heal is talking about what happened to them. But what happens when they legally can't? Lawmakers say that for years, institutions have used non-disclosure agreements to protect their image and control survivors' voices long after the abuse is handled quietly. This bill would put a stop to that.
Since the start of the 2026 legislature, several laws introduced in Kansas aim to put a stop to child sex abuse and the tactics abusers use to perpetuate it. The latest of these is Trey's Law.
This is one way we're trying to make sure that those survivors are protected under the law and respected, and that they get their agency back.
HB 2688, or Trey's Law, would ban the use of non-disclosure agreements in instances of child sex abuse and human trafficking. State Representative Bob Lewis says for years, institutions have used NDAs to stop victims from talking about their experiences, something abuse survivor Tyson Stewart says is a problem.
Every victim needs to have their voice. No victim should have to decide between restitution and silence.
Stewart is one of over 20 survivors who say a former youth director at Wichita's Eastminster Presbyterian Church abused them. Stewart came forward after learning one victim who came forward years before he did had signed a non-disclosure agreement, a document Stewart asked the church to dissolve last year at a June protest.
Their response was, well, I don't think you want that victim to have to pay back the entire amount that they received.
To this day, Stewart says the victim has been barred from sharing his story unless they repay the church the $36,000 settlement their family accepted.
When you go through something like this, your story is all you get to own. To not even have ownership of that, it's just further trauma.
It's this pressure to stay quiet that supporters of Trey's Law say led the bill's namesake, Trey Carlock, to take their own life. Stewart shared his story virtually at a Thursday hearing for the bill, along with Ashley Marquez, who attended Eastminster for 9 years and has reported abuse as a teacher.
That opened up my eyes to how much of a silencer sexual abuse is, specifically for minors who can't even really understand the depths of what has taken place. You're adding an exploitation on top of an already difficult, heinous tragedy.
If the bill passes, Representative Lewis says the bill won't work for those who've already signed an NDA, but it will help victims moving forward.
This is a systemic issue, and we need to stand and we need to protect children.
Representatives Bob Lewis and Laura Williams tell me they're unaware of any opponents to the bill, and none spoke in opposition at this afternoon's hearing. They're hoping to kick it out of the House for a debate next week. In studio, Sydney Ferguson, Cake News on your side.